Hello everybody and welcome back to Amity Bloom. My name is Nazy. Today I'm so excited to show you all the new collection of Immigrant Journals. This is something that I have been working on for a while and has been on my mind for a while, and I am so excited to finally be able to show you all the finished product. Before I go ahead and I show you all the journals that I created, I would appreciate it if you stopped the video. I know it sounds kind of weird. If you can stop the video, go to the link below and click the video that I have linked below on YouTube. The reason I am telling you this is because the theme of these journals is immigrant journals, and for some of you, you might be like, what does that mean, Nazy? Basically, it's the story of an immigrant woman, 4 immigrant women to be exact. And as I was creating the journal, sometimes I like to watch TV, and this commercial came up on TV by Phoenix University, and it was about this immigrant woman and how she immigrated to a different country in order for her grandchildren to grow up in a better place. It moved me to tears. I myself am an immigrant. I came to America from Mexico with my parents when I was about 3 years old, so I was very little. I have so much respect for immigrants, but with these journals, I wanted to tell a story of an immigrant. It all started with a travel theme, but sometimes traveling sometimes is seen as a luxury, but it can also be a burden. And for immigrants that have to, completely change their lives and move to a different country in order to have a better life, it's not travel for pleasure, it's travel because of, traveling is a necessity. It's not a luxury. So I completely recommend for you guys to check out that commercial. This whole journal will make so much more sense, but that commercial is probably one of my favorites I've ever seen. It brought me to tears, and that's the emotion that I wanted to capture with these journals. So I'll let you go and watch it, and then we'll continue. Alright, so sorry for the angle, by the way. I got a new camera and I'm still experimenting with the angle, so I'm sorry if my hands look a little awkward. So I created 4 journals, and I will put them up here. Okay. I created 4 journals in the A4 size. For those of you who are unfamiliar, I have the measurements, I will link it below. But I believe it is 8.5 by 5.5. If I'm mistaken, please let me know. So they are not in the standard size, and they also have a closure. So this is the first one that I wanted to share with you all. This immigrant journal is of a Mexican woman, and of course I had to do a Mexican woman. This one is very near and dear to my heart because I myself am Mexican. As you can see, it is a lot bigger than my normal journals. All of them are 100 to 110 pages. These can actually travel on their own because of the closure, and they're nice and heavy. They feel heavy. They feel like a book. They don't feel like a traveler's notebook insert. All of the journals also come with a special pin that the immigrant lady took with her on her journey. All of these are antique pins that I got from the Scott's Antique Market, and I loved it because it looked like the Mayan calendar, and our ancestors from the Mexican people are Mayans and are Aztecs. I thought that was really fitting. So all of them come with a vintage pin. Here is the wraparound closure. I made it with different types of textiles. I collaged it all together, and that just tucks in there, and then you can just take it apart like that. So this is the cover. As you can see, beautiful lace. This lace was actually gifted to me by my grandmother. My grandmother lives in Mexico, and she is probably the sweetest, most amazing angel on earth. She's a true angel. I know she watches my videos, so hola abuelita, te quiero mucho. So she sent me some lace from Mexico, and then here's some more laces and textiles that I wanted to sew onto there. On the side, they all have textile tabs. I did some collaging on the tabs as well, which I will show you all in a little bit. And they also have charms, like this one is La Virgen de Guadalupe. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this up. In the pocket, I included the passport that the lady will be using to travel. And so there's just really old little papers in the passport. So I thought that was fitting. Cute little passport in there. And so on this page, I did a collage. There we go. You can see better. Right there, I don't know if you can see, but right there it says Mexico. So I got this old Mexican map and I ripped it up and I stitched it on there. So I just loved how all of this looks. And this is the type of thing that I will be teaching in my classes. How to collage and how to collage your items the best way possible. And in this pocket is an image of the woman that the journal belongs to. And she loves sewing. She's a seamstress. So she is a seamstress. That is what she loves to do. That is her dream. And she would love to one day own a sewing machine. Everything that she does is done by hand. And this I took inspiration from my great-grandmother. My aunt and my mom were talking to me, and they told me that my great-grandmother would make all of her clothing by hand. She was a true immigrant woman, and I just am so proud of my grandma, of my great-grandma, and just the women in my family are just so strong, and they have taught me so much. So that is a little ode to my great-grandma. There we go. I zoomed you guys in a little bit. So something new that I did for these journals is, obviously I love all my journals to have meaning. All of the journals have a special poem that has to do with immigrants. This poem I actually wrote myself. I love, something about me is I love writing poetry, and one day I will probably share those poems with you guys, but this is a poem that I wrote and it's completely in Spanish. And so all of them come with a poem, and the way that I constructed it is I wrote this poem, it's on vellum, I printed it on vellum, and then there's this really rustic piece of tea-dyed paper, and then some regular paper. And so this way you can journal on here and you can kind of say what you interpreted from the poem, or like the emotions that you felt. So I'll read it to you. It's in Spanish and it's called Fronteras, which means borders. And it says, mi país con muchas fronteras de necesidad, mi cuarto lleno de sueños y ideas imaginarias, mi futuro perdido en una esquina de pobreza y hambre, voy a cambiar mi vida. Voy a viajar, caminar y cruzar las fronteras de mi futuro. And it's called Fronteras. So this is the poem that I created for this journal. I cried when I wrote this poem, just because I know what it's like to be an immigrant and what it's like to come from nothing and to basically to grow and to bloom. So that was very special to me. So I put that in there, and so I hope that you guys like it. And then here is a little scissor charm, because she is a seamstress after all, and she wants to travel to America to, you know, to make a living, to try to make her dreams come true of being a seamstress. So as you can see, super antique papers. I used different types of papers, some tracing paper. I tea stained it. These are some old like planner pages that I tea stained. These also were from I went to an antique store and I picked up this old address book, and I really liked how it tea stained on some of the pages. Some ledger paper. Here's a little pocket, and in the pocket is a little postcard and La Virgen de Guadalupe, so that she takes care of her during her journey. She's leaving everything behind, her family, her loved ones, in order to get her to her dreams. On this page, this is cool. It kind of looks like a coloring book page, but it's actually from a cross stitch, this big box of cross stitch patterns on paper. So you can actually go in and practice embroidery on here, or you can just color it, or you can leave it as is. I think it was really cute and a cute little thing to add. These are some old pages from children's workbooks that I found. Some old ledger. These are some old recipes, like an old recipe book, and I've included that, and it has the beautiful typewriter font. Some envelopes that I have stitched, and then in here it is a postcard from Mexico, from El DF, which is where I was born. So I thought that was kind of cool to add that in. I've included some old atlas pages of the country where the lady is from. This is a corner textile pocket. So it's basically a corner pocket. I wanted it to look very rustic, very organic, and in here I have a little printable of a card game that is very popular in Mexico. So she took the one of El Beso because she hopes to also find romance on her travels. She hopes to find, you know, the man of her dreams. So lots of pages, like I said, 100 and something pages. Here's a little collage. This also is a little tuck spot that you can put things in. And in here is just a journal card. And I found some old immigration ID cards from the internet. They're free to use. And I thought this one was really cool. Just reading all of the facts of the woman, I thought that was really neat. So I included that in there. Even though it's not the lady in the story, I thought it would be cool to include. Some map pages, tea stained, those amazing New York Times pieces of paper that I stitched to make pockets. Here is one of my collage pockets, some lace at the bottom. So this is a pocket right here, and then there is a pocket in the back. And the pocket has a picture of Mexico. Just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country that Mexico is. And the people, I love Mexico so much. And then in this pocket it says, wherever you go, go with all your heart. I printed a lot of quotes on vellum, and Tracy Fox and Jibid Neri were my inspiration for that. And then here on these pages, these are some old, as you can see, I had to reinforce it. I used some old masking tape to reinforce where I poked the holes, because this is some wicked old paper and you'll be able to feel it. It's some old scrapbook paper from a vintage scrapbook. And then in the middle, it's this really old geography book page that I copied and I printed it on tea stained paper, and so I thought that looked really cool in the middle. And these are all the tea stains, just really awesome. More tabs. In this pocket I did a little collage, and in here there is a postcard that she used to write back to her family. And right here at the top is a little sample of a poncho cloth, and this is true poncho cloth. I bought a poncho and I cut a little snippet from it and I included it in here. So, and I love how it feels. You can feel the fibers, but she took that so that she remembers the poncho of her father that he would always wear. More pages. Over here is a little collage. Here it's a little Mexican Postal Service card, and this is her immigration card. So this is the journal that the woman belongs to, and that's her own immigration card. So I included that in there. Some more beautiful paper. Oh, I love this tab. I love that tab. It's one of my favorites. So, so, so cute. And look at the tea staining. Ugh, I can't wait. I'm already starting to work on my classes, like I said. So I can't wait to share my tips with you guys. Over here is another collaged pocket. I included some textiles, and inside are some mixed media file folders. If you want to know how I did this, I can do a little tutorial, but it's just really pretty. It's some script and some tracing paper, and you can journal on it. Looks really rustic. More pages. Here is the map of Mexico. Sorry, that was my phone. Here's the map of Mexico. Where was I born? I was born right there. I think I was born right there. I also use this as a travel journal, but obviously the purpose of these is like as a heritage journal. Here in this pocket is a little route maps ephemera that she used to make her way through America, because she was completely lost. Obviously, being in a new country, you don't know where you are. You don't know anybody. More of those embroidery pages. Here's another pocket, and in here is another blank postcard that you can write on, and a picture of the street where she lived. Oh, I'm obsessed with the tea staining. Absolutely gorgeous. Right here is a sample of her clothing. This is, if you've ever seen traditional Mexican like folk dresses, that style is true to the Mexican people. So this is what I wanted to resemble here. This is an article of her clothing. Here's a button on the tab. And then here is a postcard that her family sent to her. This is her family. That's her brother, that's her mother. Her father is dead. He's deceased. That's why she was carrying his poncho with her, and then some of their writing. So she misses her family dearly, but she knows that she's doing the right thing because she's sending money to her family in Mexico so that they have enough means to survive. So she's doing the right thing. She is struggling, but she's doing it for her and for her family. And over here, some more textiles sewn on the side, and then it's not real. So I included that in there because she took some money with her as memory. And that's it. And then the back just has my name. So that is the Mexican journal. I hope that you guys liked it. And then here's that beautiful charm that I have included with the journal. So here's the Mexican one. So beautiful. And moving on to the Greek one. This is the next journal. This one belongs to a Greek woman, so of course this is the Greek immigrant. This is the pin that comes with the journal. I hope that you can see it. So beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I think it goes really well with the color combinations that I chose for the textiles. So this is the cover. Let me put that aside. As you can see, beautiful textiles, true vintage buttons, and really old lace. Just gorgeous. You see the floral design. Gosh, I love it. I love using authentic lace and textiles because I just think it adds so much character to the... Right, so opening it up, because I know I'm taking forever. But how can you not, right, with the stories of these women? On the inside, in the front side pocket, here is the Greek passport. And over here in the front page, there is a tracing paper pocket, and then some collaging on the bottom. And then here's the poem that pertains to this lady. I will put it right there so that you can read it. And then these also have, I've stitched them on the side, so it's kind of like a little notebook, and you can write on them. Beautiful papers. Here is the wonderful lady that this journal belongs to. Obviously it will belong to you, but this is just, you can replace the ephemera I have included with your own ephemera, of course. Some textiles on the side, and then her beautiful dress. I loved her dress. Same type of papers, same like recipe papers. This one also has 100 and more pages. Some map pages, some of those address pages. Tabs. I'm going to go through it quickly through the ones that aren't embellished. Here is a corner textile pocket. This one I wanted to represent the ocean and the waves. And then here I found this really beautiful image, and it's a poem that I wrote about the sea. So I won't read it just so that I won't bore you, but you can pause and read it there. So the reason why I'm focusing the sea into this is because she grew into a family that adored the sea. She grew up near the sea, and the sea is everything that she has known. It's her passion. So the sea is very important to her, and Greece is surrounded by beautiful waters. On this page over here, this is an image of her father. Her father is now passed, so she has something missing in her, which is, if you saw the poem, that you'd know that there's something that held her back from leaving, which was her father. Here's a picture of a vintage sailboat, and then right here I've attached an old piece of cloth. This is the cloth that he used in his vest. Here is an old envelope. I need to paper clip that on, but all of them come with the old envelopes that I used to include in the middle of the signature. I'm including it on a paper clip for you. Here's another pocket. This is an image of her siblings that she is leaving behind. She is leaving across the sea to make a better life for her siblings, and her siblings are being left with her aunt. But this is an image of her cute, adorable little siblings. My God, it would kill me if I had to leave my siblings alone. And then here on this tab, I don't know if you can see, it's a key charm, and this was the key to her dad's boat. So she's taking that with her to sail across the sea. Some tracing paper. Some more of that embroidery pages. Some textiles. This is a letter that she had from her father. Some more of those collaged textile tabs. Some beautiful little doilies, some paper doilies. These are some vintage ones that I found from an estate sale. Some of the New York Times. A beautiful little collage, and then some Greek ephemera that has to do with sailing. Look at the distressing on that page. This actually burnt a little, but I thought it looked really, really cool. And then here I made my own washi tape. I might share a video on how I did that, but I included some of my own washi tape to reinforce the pages. Here is one of my collaged pockets. I included some typewriter font words, and then here is an image of the hometown that she is leaving behind. This was her home, and this was where her father's boat was docked in. More of that beautiful geography paper in the middle. Some more collaged pockets, and then here it's a Greek postcard. There's a really yummy Greek restaurant right where I live, and they were generous enough to let me photocopy some of their old vintage Greek ephemera. Some more really old vintage Greek postcards. Little button, so cute. Another Greece postcard representing the ocean colors. Some beautiful textile tabs. Here is a really old, this is something that I got from the Greek restaurant. It's an old image of a man on a sailboat. Let me see if I can. Isn't that the cutest thing? Here is some Greek currency. It's not real, of course. I can't stress that enough because I think I can't send that across seas. Here is a textile pocket. This is representing the sand and the beach. So like this one was representing the ocean. This is the sand. And in this little pocket, she has the vintage recipe from her mother. Her mother passed away when she was very young. So the only thing that she has of her is her recipe and a sample of her clothing. And this is the sample of her mother's clothing. Beautiful silk, just gorgeous. Reminds me of like a mermaid. Right here on the ocean, this is the Ionian Sea on the coast of Greece. And I wrote a little quote about, I wrote a little quote on typewriter font, and I stitched it on there. I thought it looked really, really, really special and unique, and then you could journal on the ocean. I thought that was kind of fun. Here's some more tabs with some little buttons on them. Here is a collaged page flip out. So I collaged some pages and I made that into a flip out. And then in this pocket I have a picture of where she used to live, the street where she used to live. And tuck that back in there. More vintage recipe sheets. And that's it. There's my little Amity Bloom logo. So this one's the Greek one. This is the next one. This is the French one. I think this is the one that has like 116 or 120 pages. This one has a couple extra pages because I included some vintage French ledger in here that I couldn't include in the others. And then the pin is this one. I hope you can see it. It's a beautiful little wreath, and it has little crystals and a pearl. And I decided to choose this pin for this journal because out of all of the ladies, she is not traveling out of necessity. She is traveling for love. So she has money. She doesn't need to travel to make her family's life a lot easier. She comes from wealth, and so all she's trying to do is go to America to find her lover that mysteriously disappeared. So this is the cover with the wraparound closure. This is the charm that I included, of course, because she has money. She can afford crystals and pearls and a beautiful locket that she will put a picture of both her and her lover in. So let's open this up. I can't wait to show you. And out of all of the ladies, she's the only one that has a little photo frame to put her picture in. Because she is from wealth, she actually has that luxury. So this is the wonderful lady. And of course, you can take this out and put your own picture, either of your grandma, of yourself, or whoever. And then here, of course, you have some place to journal and then a little collage at the bottom. I love this page. I thought it was kind of cool. Here is some textiles on the side, some pictures of Paris, and then here I included this little poem. Then the same thing I did. I stitched it to papers. And so she's seeing the world for the first time, meaning that she was very, she never left her home. She was always very wealthy, so she never got a chance to explore. She always, had to follow the rules, had to follow and make sure that she didn't, she upheld her family's name. But truly, she wanted to go and explore and find the love of her dreams that went off into America and basically left her. Oh, this is some of that old ledger that I included, and it has the colors of the French flag, so I thought that was kind of fun. And this pocket's kind of busy. Here is an old fabric. Here is an old French letter that is photo scanned, and I have included it in there. And then here is a picture of her family, her mother, her father, and her two little siblings. So this is her family, and then to remind her of her family, of course she loves them, but she wants to go and she wants to start her own life. This is a little sample of the napkins that they had in her house. This was her favorite napkin, so she took this with her. Just as memory of, leaving her family behind. More tabs, beautiful little doilies, paper doilies, address paper. Here is a textile corner pocket, and in here is a picture of her loved one. And then this is the ticket that was mailed to her, and his name is Cohen. So this is how she knew that he ended up traveling to America. So that is where she's going to, in hopes of finding him. Same types of pages, some old Paris postcards, some lined paper. These are some old pages from a book about France and like the history of France. Some old envelopes, and in here some more vintage French ephemera. Some map pages of Europe, some New York Times, collaged papers in this corner, a little postcard of Paris, not of Paris, sorry, a postcard of France. Some old storybook pages, some of that beautiful embroidery pages. Here's a double pocket, so here I printed this out so you can journal on here. This is a pocket, and then this is a pocket as well. And in here I have a vintage French receipt. Some more children's book pages. Here attached is an old envelope that you can put ephemera in. And then on the back, this is a kind of a busy page. So basically, here is some textiles sewn on the side, a little collage pocket that says wherever you go. And basically, she's finishing that saying that wherever he goes, she will follow. She is deeply mad in love with him. And this is a letter that she wrote to him, but she never heard back. And that tucks back in there. So you can imagine how much she must miss him and love him. And over here, this is some sample of her clothing that she stitched on with some of his old, one of his old coats, and she sewed on some of her samples of her dresses, and she stitched it on right on top of his. Just kind of like a symbol of how much she loves him and how much she wants to be with him. It's, the clothing sample is of both of them. So I thought that was kind of cute and romantic. Something I would do. This is a really cute little image from her. This is from one of her old children's books that she used. another textile corner pocket, and in here is an old French ticket that she took with her to remind her of the good times that she had in Paris. And then here is a fold-out map of France. So you have some map pages in there too. Here's a little expense record sheet that she took because she doesn't want to use up all her money. Even though she comes from wealth, she still is trying to be frugal. Here's some more of those old French history pages. A beautiful little collage. Look at this lace. Some tracing paper. These are from the backs. These are from the back pages of an atlas book. So I thought that was kind of cool. This is some lace, a little tuck spot up there. Doilies. A little collage textile tab and with a little button. Book pages about France. Here is some currency from France. Not real. Like I keep saying, don't you go and use this at your nearest, grocery store or something. Some more tabs, some vintage ledger. Here's a simple little textile collage, and this is her immigration card that she got when she arrived to America. And my little logo at the back. So here is the French one. Really, really sad story with this one. They're all sad in a way, but they're also empowering in some because it's all women that take the chance, go on a journey to find what they're looking for, which is all about what immigrants do. They travel to make their lives better, to try to not only make their lives better, but the lives of their loved ones. This is another journal, super, super chunky, 100+ pages. This is the cover. This is the beautiful vintage brooch that is going to be coming with your journal. And it has a gorgeous floral cabochon in the center. So this is the cover. Really pretty buttons, really pretty lace on the side. Here is the Roman coin. And then here is a little fountain pen charm because this particular lady, she is traveling because she wants to get an education so that she can make her life and the life of her family a lot better. So she wants to travel to America. Here's her passport, her Roman passport, and she is going to become a student at a university. So this is a collaged page that I created. Some lace at the bottom. More collaged papers. This is the image of the wonderful lady that is leaving everything behind to get an education and make not only her life better, but the life of her loved ones. Some tabs. This, it's like the mother lode of all poems. This is a huge poem. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to keep it right there. It's called Eyes of an Immigrant. And same thing, I stitched it, and so you have some big sheets of vintage paper that that you can write your emotions about of this poem. And I did that because myself, personally, I get very emotional when I read poetry, and I like to jot down my notes. I like to jot down my ideas and emotions that I feel from poetry, so I thought it would be fun to include that. In this pocket is just a postcard of the street that she lives in. All of them take pictures from their home country to remind themselves of where they come from. Here's some map pages of Italy, some old Italian history pages. Here's that little charm up at the top, some gorgeous papers, some Italian ephemera, some worksheets, ruffles on the side. I'm going a little quick because my battery is about to die. I might have to stop and charge it because I still have something else as a surprise at the end. This little page over here, I showed this in my previous video. This is a postcard. I was inspired by Jivid. Hi Jivid. She usually stitched some lines on her cards or on her pages, and I thought that was the smartest idea, so I included a couple lines so that you could journal on there. And then I put, and the journey itself is home. So this is a cute little postcard that you can put a picture and then journal. You can do whatever you'd like. And in here, she has a picture of This is her mother and of all of the women that lived next to her. So she doesn't have a father, it's just her mom and herself. And this is an image of her mother and her mom's friends that always hung out in the afternoons and you know, did some sewing. Here is a little sample of some of the embroidery that they created for her right before she left, just as a gift. Beautiful, and it's super thick too. It's like some needlework. So she's taking that with her as memory of the wonderful ladies that she's leaving behind. Some textiles on the sides, similar pages throughout. Some more of those New York Times pages. Some textiles collaged on the side, and then in the pocket, an Italian postcard and some Italian stamps in case she needs to send the postcard back home. Another little tuck spot in here. Some more postcards of her home country. Some pages about Italy. More textile tabs. Here is a big textile pocket, some lace, and in here is just a little certificate that she got from taking like a mini course in Italy. But she wants her full degree. Some more of those geography pages, some really cool transfer. Some doilies here, did some collaging up there just for fun. I love this page, just the colors and the staining. Ugh. And I wrote some phrases in Italian on tracing paper too. And some old Italian postcards. So in this pocket, in this little envelope pocket, some Italian currency and then her immigration card when she came to America. Some of that old scrapbook paper. A little collage on the side. Some more French ephemera. Some more tabs. More of those atlas pages. This is a corner textile pocket made out of lace, some really old lace. Here is some matte pages, and this is Italy right here. I thought that was really cool. I could find matte pages for all of the countries that I created a journal for. Another little pocket, and in here, it's on the side, but I have an envelope that goes in there. Look at the tea staining. Ugh. These might be my favorite journals. Even more than the boho. Maybe. Like, it's up there. Over here is a sample of her clothing. Her mom made her a skirt. And so she ripped it up and she put a little sample in there. When she got some new clothes, she thought she would save that as memory. And in here is some vintage recipes to make spaghetti with chicken. Her mama's recipe. And she wrote it in English so that she gets practice of the English language. Some tissue paper, some tracing paper, and a little text spot with a collage on the side, and in the pocket, some more Italian ephemera. And that's it. My little logo in the back. And that's this one. So those are all of the journals. All of them with their wonderful little pins. So that is it, my friends, to the journal flip through. It's probably been one of my favorite collections as of yet. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this flip through. Like I said, I will leave a link to my Etsy shop down below if you're interested in purchasing. Definitely, please let me know what you think. This is something that I have been thinking of creating for a long time, but I was a little nervous too, and I am so excited to see your feedback. I truly hope that they go to someone that will treasure them as much as I do, and you know, treat them as, to me they're like they're heritage journals. These would be perfect journals to journal about your family, about your ancestry, about your grandma, your great-grandma, their journey. If you have any stories at all about your grandma, you yourself, any stories, if you're an immigrant or if you're a second generation immigrant? Definitely leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear your stories. Because the journals tend to be a bit expensive, I wanted to create something else and offer you guys something else that is a bit more affordable. But if you liked the style, you can still purchase something at least. So, the other products that will be in my shop, apart from the fabric journals, is these fabric envelopes. Now I'm going to go quickly because my battery is about to die, but I made 6. So they look like this. They're made out of all fabric. They're completely made out of fabric and lace. They have vintage buttons and they work as a pouch. I made buttonholes just like they did in the old times. I actually learned how to do this by my aunt, and my aunt learned how to do this from my great-grandmother, the one that I mentioned in the journals. And so it's a fabric little pouch. It looks like an envelope, so I call them my fabric envelopes. And inside, you get some goodies. You get some fabric ephemera. You get a tag that comes with a little fabric pocket, which I think would be perfect to put your little embroidery pieces in. So you get a fabric tag with a pocket. You can also journal on the back. You get a little fabric square, just like with my bohemian journals. I wanted to continue that same feel, but this is made out of muslin in the back. You get a tiny little embroidered flower with some gorgeous, gorgeous like vintage burlap. I got this off of an Indian vest. Here is a little mini fabric flip out. So all of these flip out as well as this one. So you can adhere this to a page, or you can cut the fabric that I've given you apart, kind of like a fabric sample book. And then on the back on all of them it says Amity Bloom as my little logo. And the final thing you get is a big embroidery card with a couple of buttons stitched onto the side. So all of them come with 5 fabric embellishments on the inside, as well as a letter that I will write to you. All of this will go into your fabric envelope. Like I said, there will be 6 of these in my Etsy shop. There will be 3 in the light lace color, so let me show you. All of them come with different embroideries, different fabrics. Same color scheme, but just different ways that I collaged it. And all of them work as pouches. I personally made one for myself as a wallet. That's how I use mine, but you can use yours in your journal as a gift. Very, very cute little, look at this little chamomile. This one's probably my favorite embroidery that I did. And here is the little pouch for that one. My link to my Etsy shop will be below. Definitely look at the pictures in order to select which ones you'd like. Same style, same tag, you know, same embroidery but different types of flowers. I can't wait until you see the fabrics and you feel them in your hand. Same fabrics that I used to make my immigrant journals. I wanted to make them into an envelope. Isn't that so cute? So like I said, definitely check out my Etsy shop. If you can't purchase a journal because it's too expensive, I created these little envelope pouches with embroidery and fabric embellishments that you can use in your journaling or as a gift. And as a thank you, you guys are amazing. So as a thank you, I am giving one away. I made this pouch specially for one of you. I chose this little flower because of Amity Bloom. This represents Amity Bloom. It's a pouch and you can put anything inside. So I made this little pouch for you, and it comes with a little fabric flip out. This looks like a Christmas tree. A little fabric square. This really cute floral embroidery, and I did some thread and a little button. I thought that was kind of cute. And your little tag. So all of these goodies is what you will get in the giveaway. I wanted to do like a surprise giveaway because you guys have been so incredible, so supportive for me. This Amity Bloom family is growing every day, and it makes me so happy, truly. Your comments, your support, everything. So the rules to enter is, number 1, you must leave a comment below. Any type of comment, just basically letting me know that you'd like to be entered into the giveaway. Rule number 2 is you need to be a subscriber, and that's it. The reason you need to be a subscriber is because I don't want any like fake giveaway accounts to join. I want it to go to someone that is a member of this Amity Bloom family and that will appreciate and treasure this little pouch as much as I do. 5 days until I will announce the winner, and I will post a quick little 1-minute video on my channel to say who the winner is. So this is just one of a few giveaway videos that will be coming up. So I can't wait to share that with you. So definitely check out the link below if you're interested in purchasing the fabric envelopes. And if you're interested in entering the giveaway, definitely leave your comment below as well. Thank you so much for watching this super long video. I was going to make it 2 parts, but I thought it would be best to just put it all in one. Again, your support is so incredible. I couldn't be doing any of this without you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Until next time, my friends, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day filled with peace and love. Bye-bye.